Hello, Rick, new video. Today we want to take a look at the entire Tal trio with also their legacy moveset here. All of them have their legacy moves. We're going to have the Reshiram with the Fusion Flare, we have the Zekrom with the Fusion Bolt, and we also have the Kyurem with Glaciate. This team was way better than I thought. I actually stood up the entire night basically to get the XL candy for Zekrom. Please leave a like on the video. This was a ton of effort. I stayed up till like 4:30 in the morning. I need like 150 XL candy. If you think, oh, the IV spread of the Zekrom is pretty bad, yes it is, but I already powered this Pokemon up before. It was lucky and was pretty easy to still power up. Right now you're gonna get a ton of XL candy as well during this current event if you go for like excellent throws, so I might just try to get even more XL candy for Zekrom, try to get to another one soon, but like this is definitely working out. And yeah, we're going to take a look at this team here right now. This team has some very obvious weaknesses, for example, the Dialga, which I'm just facing, for example, there. Also, Zacian is a complete weakness here, but for Zacian, we are running the Fire Fang version of the Reshiram, which actually wins against Zacian, I think, in nearly every scenario, which is kind of crazy. And for the Dialga, also, this team can have some players you can see here. We will be able to go for one Fusion Flare and goodbye to the Dialga. Also, this video is a little bit longer because I think I have all the battles in there that I also did during my 3 sets that I did with this team. We will face Giratina here, and of course, by the way, I went like 11-4 with this team. Like, this is insane. I won 4-1 in the first set, 3-2 in the second one, and 4-1 in the third as well then. So, this team was amazing. You're actually gonna go into my Reshiram, I think that was like one of the earlier ones, or like I forgot what they had. They had the, I think they had the Giratina in the lead here, if I remember correctly. So this is actually super fine that they went into their Excadrill there. That is amazing because I also don't really have good Excadrill answers here, and I face Excadrill a lot of times. But the cool thing here about Reshiram in general is this thing can counter so many Pokemon. I was thinking, okay, do I still go for Dragon Breath because it's like the preferred moveset for this Pokemon? But I was like, nah, I need something for Steel types with this team. I have 3 Dragon Pokemon here. I need something for Fairy types with this team. And basically Reshiram is my best answer for that. Our Kyurem will be our our Zekrom will be our Sasop, and we will have our Kyurem in the lead there, which can Glaciate them all, can debuff them all, and hopefully get some good debuffs to win us the games. Here my opponent goes for the charge move pretty much immediately when they get there to it, which is amazing for me because I can still farm them down with the Reshiram and win this game there. Fire Fang is so strong for this Pokemon in general. I think Fire Fang, I like this version a little bit more than the Dragon Breath version. We see a Landorus again in the lead here. We have Glaciate, of course, available for us. We're going to shield up the first move though. Going to be a Stone Edge, as we're going to see most likely a swap in somewhere. No, we're actually going to go ahead and go for the Glaciate immediately. Going to knock them straight out. I am fine with that. We see a Zacian coming in. I cannot really swap out of here because both my Sasop, which is of course a Zekrom there, as well as my Kyurem, don't really want to face this Pokemon. But I'm pretty sure I can still survive one move here because I debuffed, and I do, which allows me to either get the shield here or knock out the Zacian as well with my Kyurem. Kyurem is so underrated, this Pokemon is so strong. We will be able to go into our Reshiram now, and you see how much I chunk the health of the opponent there. They can go for all the moves they want to, like they're debuffed as well. As we will face an Yveltal here, let's see if we can get the shield from the opponent, the final shield here. Coming through, amazing for us. We can swap into our Zekrom, and you know already what's going to hit them. We're going to see the Fusion Bolt in action here. As the Dark Pulse coming through, it doesn't really matter to us. We can shield one more time, and we can actually overfarm a little bit now. Because we know that they had 0 energy when they threw the second one, because I threw back to back. We will be able to go ahead and go for one Fusion Bolt and say goodbye to the opponent's Yveltal. Zacian coming in, and also the Zacian going to get hit by this Fusion Bolt. Goodbye there. And we're going to be able to win this game. Next game coming up, we're going to see Kyurem against Excadrill. Again, not really ideal, but we can stay in here. We can go for a shield first and then go for Glaciate. Glaciate is at least still neutral, will be able to debuff the opponent's attack and makes this matchup a little bit more feasible there. We will be able to go ahead, go for the Glaciate, gonna get the debuff, and we can go ahead and hopefully get to our next Glaciate in time. As they go for another charge move here, Rock Slide coming through, going to do a ton of damage, but we can go for the Glaciate in time for the next move here, and they're going to have to invest another shield. I'm going to, I think, let this move go through here and just going to rely on my Reshiram now, trying to get some extra energy here, but they're going to swap out into a Mewtwo. Not ideal for me, but I can go ahead and go for one crunch against them, hopefully. As crunch going to knock them out before they can get to a next charge move, which is amazing. Forcing also the exit roll to throw a charge move against me, which most likely coming back in here as it hardwalls me here. And then I hopefully still going to have my Reshiram with a shield advantage against whatever they have in the bag. But it's kind of close if I can farm down their exit roll. They had some extra energy, but because the second move was able to knock them out, we will be able to go ahead and go for Fire Fang damage. In general, does a ton of damage, as you can see here, but also the fusion they are going to go through here. Let's see how much damage this does to an Yveltal. And this Yveltal are gonna go nearly down there already from this damage alone, and we can go ahead and go for the Fire Fang down. Next opponent, Ho-Oh in the lead. A little bit awkward here. What I do against Ho-Oh is usually just go ahead and wait for 4 of their turns and then swap out into my Zekrom, trying to catch the move. All the moves are usually resisted here because they run usually at least Brave Bird and Sacred Fire, or like, yeah, Sacred Fire I think. As we will see here the Zacian coming in. We are sadly debuffed from the move. Actually, I think I didn't get a single crunch debuff, by the way, with this team. I was super unlucky with crunch. I used at least crunch, I think, 6-7 times. I never got a debuff. But of course, my opponent gets the first one here. We will be able to go ahead and farm them all the way down with our Reshiram and our Fire Fang. I could shield this up. I'm going to shield this up as well. Play rough would definitely hurt a lot, and I'm expecting them to have something like Dialga in the back. But luckily, they only going to have the Giratina in the back, which is going to be definitely easier to deal with. I'm going to stay in here because I have Fire Fang version, so against Ho-Oh I'm not as good either. And I can go for another crunch here. Let's see what the opponent tries to do here. We're going to be able to get the knockout actually, and I can go directly into my Kyurem. Kyurem is still pretty healthy while the opponent is getting lower and lower. We can debuff the attack. We're going to shield up the move. Let's see what they want to do here. They're going to go for the Sacred Fire. They don't get the debuff this time around, which is very good for me, as we can go ahead and go for another move here, trying to debuff them again. And they're going to let this move go through because they had no chance of winning this game anyway. I would have been able to farm them down for sure, and they wouldn't have knocked me out with a charge move after 2 debuffs. So, good game there. Dialga in the lead, horrible one for us. Dialga in general, of course, is the worst possible Pokemon to face with this team. Still, Zacian is also a little bit tricky, but Dialga is definitely the most trickiest, but we can actually deal with it. If you go for Glaciate, they let this move go through it, you can swap into your Zekrom. You gotta get them to a range where they cannot get to another charge move after they throw the Draco Meteor, so you have to invest 1 shield, but you can farm them down later on, hopefully. Here, my opponent goes into their Zacian, going for most likely Play Rough here to knock us out. A little bit of an awkward matchup as we're going to have to go into our Reshiram. This looks really bad, but like we get hardwalled the entire time basically. Like those are the 2 Pokemon that I really don't want to face. I know that they're the most common ones, so I'm not going to complain that I'm facing them. But yeah, like those are the ones that I really don't want to face with this team. As we face here against the Zacian, they're going to go for 1 close combat. I can farm them down so far. We can see the Giratina coming in where we can go into our Kyurem now. And we can go for 1 Dragon Claw. I think I would have been able to go for a Glaciate as well, which would have been better here. Never mind, this was a CMP tie, so I was wrong. I was not able to get there in time. But I can go for 1 more crunch here, but sadly you see our health dwindling here. Even though we get basically the worst possible matchups at all here, we still got them pretty low to be fair. They have like a 1 HP here, they still have a Dialga in their back that still would have been able to farm us down as well, because we not resisting the Dragon Breath. Well, they are neutral to our fast move, so still a close game, good game there. Next opponent, we will see a Ho-Oh in the lead. Ho-Oh is again the same thing there. We're going to try to catch. Didn't work out. They're going to have 5 energy now, like 5 turns, basically 1 energy. And I have to swap out into my Zekrom now. Can go for a Fusion Bolt against the Lugia. They're going to let this move go through, going to do a ton of damage already. And at this point, I can just take the moves whichever they want to go for. This was a guaranteed Sky Attack. They went for 1 too early, or like 2 too early even. As I can go ahead and go for 1 crunch, get the shield, get the defense drop. Actually, I got 1. Never mind. I just didn't see it because it literally didn't matter because this Pokemon going to die immediately anyway. And it actually just does not allow me to get more farm. That's amazing. But we will see a Dialga coming in now, which is going to be a really awkward one because we have to go for the Fusion Flare. There's not a lot that I can do about this now. I have to swap out now into my Kyurem, and I have to go for Glaciate. I expected them to swap immediately into the Ho-Oh, that's why I didn't throw immediately my Glaciate there. But this game is basically over for me. Like, there's not a lot that I can do here, right? We will see the Ho-Oh coming in now. They're going to go for 1 charge move. Let's see what they're going to do here. They're going to go for the Brave Bird. This is amazing for us. We can go ahead and go for a Dragon Claw now, as they were at 100 energy before. I had to throw immediately, knocking them straight out. And the Dialga comes back in, and Dragon Claw comes in as well. Also going to get the knockout here with 1 more Dragon Breath. Goodbye, opponent. as we going to be able to win this game as well against a Dialga. Zacian lead, horrible lead again. You see how many times I actually flip horrible leads still, which is insane. Kyurem in general is such a good lead in this meta right now. There are a ton of Pokemon that really don't want to face Kyurem, but also those Pokemon that would like to face Kyurem, they're still not always good against it. We see the Zacian here with close combat. I can still go for a Glaciate. I'm going to shield this move up because I can debuff them twice then. Fine for me, I will be able to get the shield back anyway here. And I can definitely now knock them out later on with my Zacian, as I actually would have also still got them pretty low, I think, if I just shield this next one as well. But Zacian will be able to farm them all the way down, gaining some energy advantage against the incoming Lugia. Sadly, they're going to have a Dialga in the back, and this is basically a good game here already. If I won lead, I would have been able to align at least my Pokemon a little bit better, but they both have 2 Pokemon that are good against dragons as well in the back, so we had a good, like, basically 3 Pokemon that were good against dragon-type Pokemon against me, and I have a team of 3 dragon types, so that was a fast one. Here I was very, very slow, sadly. After having a fast loss, we have a slow swap by me, which is really, really bad, because this MEweedle is going to be a Pokemon that I usually don't want to face with my team, because I have 2 Dragon Breath users. But my Reshiram actually has a pretty decent matchup against it. I can go for one charge move here. This will be enough to definitely get knockout, but they're going to shield this move up. Actually got another defense drop. Never mind, I'm just talking smack then. I guess I got more defense drops than I thought. But they were always when my opponent was like basically 1 HP anyway. So like, they were always things that never matter. We will see the Excadrill coming in here, which is actually a good-ish matchup because I don't really want to face him with my Pokemon in the back. I will be able to take the first move here with the Rock Slide coming through, as we see the Giratina swapping in against us, which is amazing. We can now go ahead and go for the Crunch. We can let this move go through, but we now have the ability to just go ahead and try to knock them out, or try to get to another move later on to knock out the Excadrill. But they're going to let this move go through. They just rely on the Excadrill, which I think is the right call. I'm going to still go for the Crunch because here I actually want the debuff. Please give me the debuff. Of course, I will not get them in the times where it actually does matter, but it doesn't matter actually though, because we can still just let this move go through, go into our Kyurem, and we will be able to farm them down in time. Goodbye, Excadrill. Nothing you want to do here against me. Goodbye there, sir. We will see the next game coming through. We will see Excadrill in the lead again. We just got rid of the mole. Now the mole comes back from the ground, as we will be able to shield up the first move again. We saw this matchup earlier already. Rock Slide coming through, we will be able to let this next move most likely go through after we can go for a Glaciate here, getting the shield back, very fine for me, as we can outspeed the second Glaciate to the third Rock Slide, which is very nice because they usually of course do outspeed me in general. But we will get always basically a shield advantage here, or the knockout. No, actually they can still get to a move. Maybe if I shielded, I don't know. This was, I think, something that I didn't really have any chance for. We will see the Dialga coming in, which is okay for me, though, because we can go for the Crunch in time. I kind of want them to throw against me here, but I'm not sure if they're going to do this. I'm going to swap out now into my Reshiram. I have to shield this move up, like, there's no way about this. It's going to be the Draco. And we will see the Zacian coming in. This is actually pretty decent that the Zacian comes in here right now, but I don't think I can get to 2 moves here in time, so it's going to be most likely lost. Let's see, we can get the shield already, which is cool. But, yeah, one player most likely knocks us out here, right? Player coming through, it doesn't knock us out, and the Fusion Flare is coming through. Is this actually still possible to win for us? We get the Fusion Flare through, we're going to knock out the opponent's Zacian, and we see the Dialga coming in. We have more health than them, but our moves are not super effective, and we're still going to be able to knock out the opponent here. Chasing the day next up, we're going to be able to see a Mamoswine in the lead there. It's going to be also the fully XL version. There was one guy later on, I think, that went in with a Premier Classic Cup against me, but nearly knocked me out there, but we will see about this as well. They hardwalled me, so we will see here the next opponent having the Mamoswine. They're going to keep the Mamoswine alive. I think they had a move start already, so I didn't really want to, like, I kind of had to have this always in my mind that they have still a move start on the Mamoswine, so I have to play a little bit differently. We will face here the Dialga, which is going to get the going to shield here. I'm going to let this move go through because of that reason alone as well already with the Mamoswine. And now I can farm them down all the way with my Reshiram here. Reshiram will have a great time farming them down, getting some extra energy. And let's see what they're going to go into. They're going to go into... We will find out soon. It's going to be a Zacian. So many Zacian and Dialga teams, basically exactly what we don't want to face. And we're still going to be able to have a pretty decent chance against those. And here's, for example, one thing where I was like, okay, I have to basically not throw my, like, not use my shield here anymore against this incoming play rough. I didn't want to use my shield because of because the opponent has like a move stored. I'm gonna go for one Fusion Flare now after like while they're in their animation. I can knock out the opponent's Reshiram and we can knock out the Memo Swine as well. Saying good game to my opponent, very good game there as well. Here's the opponent that was saying before, like this is a level 40 Conkeldurr, this is a level 40 Memo Swine. Someone clicked on the wrong leak here, but still they have a Conkeldurr against my Ice type and they have a Memo Swine against my pure Dragon and Electric type here. So this is not ideal. I'm not going to shield up the move from them. I got already the shield, which is the best thing that I could have basically got here. I will be able to shield up this next move because it's still going to do a lot of damage. Like, it's still going to hurt. So I'm going to shield up this one. I will be able to go ahead and go for one move here, but they're actually going to have a Metagross now as well, which can farm us down there and do a ton of damage. Luckily, we have Fire Fang on our Reshiram. But Reshiram is like the one that we have to rely on. We have to get the shield here from the opponent and we have to get them low enough that we can hit some Glaciates against the opponent's Conkeldurr here. But of course we have the level advantage. We have also the Pokemon advantage because they have legendaries against like normal Pokemon basically. But they have definitely the type advantages. We're still going to be able to knock them out here with one more Fusion Flare. Coming through, we can do still some more damage against the Metagross and one more Glaciate will do enough damage to them. But they decide to forfeit anyway, so good game there, but still a close one for playing against level 14 non-legendary Pokemon because they just hardwalled me. Next up, we're going to see the Excadrill here against us again. We're going to go ahead and go for a Glaciate. Most likely should have swapped out earlier into my Reshiram, but it's actually, I kind of want to stay in here now because also like against Reshiram, they have Drill Run, which is stab instead of like Rock Slide, which is non-stab here. Drill Run does just way more damage and super effective as well. So I kind of want to stay in this matchup. I'm actually gonna get the final shield of the opponent. I actually can let this move go through. The double debuffed here, and I can farm them all the way down. Still at half of my health, and we see a Zacian coming in. This is amazing because we have Fire Fang. If we didn't have Fire Fang, this would be an awkward matchup, but because of Fire Fang and Fusion Flare, we're going to get a ton of damage against them. And I can let this move go through, and I'm just going to keep my shield alive for my Zekrom here. Seeing the Giratina coming in, this is basically already a good game here, as we were to be able to go for one Crunch against them. Crunch coming through, going to do a ton of damage. I tried to swap out, didn't work out, doesn't matter, we can let this move go through. It's going to be a Shadow Ball, but we still are only really fearing the Zacian, and this does not have the health anymore to do anything, so good game there. We can go into the final game for this video. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like. It was a ton of effort to get this XL Kenny for all the Pokemon, and also use an elite charge TM for my Zekrom there again. We will be able to go for a Glaciate against the opponent, as we can swap into our Zekrom. I tried always to catch the move from the Dialga onto my Zekrom, like the Iron Head, but I never went for the Iron Head, so this is kind of the awkward part here. We will see a Lugia coming in. That's going to look not very good for me so far. Two Pokemon that I don't really like to face with this team, but I can still go for another Fusion Bolt, which is fine. Let's see what they're going to do here. They're going to most likely just farm me all the way down, using two shields from them at least, as we can go ahead and go into our Kyurem here, I guess. Yes, going to go into the Kyurem just to take one move, which is going to be Sky Attack. I can swap out now to my Reshiram and I can try to farm like up extra energy. Going to shield this move up. It can be an Arrow Blast. Hopefully they don't boost up their attack. Of course they do, because it's like just a 12.5% chance or something, but hey, who cares about that? We're still going to be able to knock them out here, but we're still not going to be able to knock out this Dialga, so it's going to be a good game for the final one. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like if you did. See you next video. Have a great rest of your day. Bye!